Hello YouTube, welcome back to J-Bob the Video Game Slob Mystery Box Edition from the land of Marketplace. Taking a look at what we bought here for $43 today. Got a loose disc, no manual in there. Ex-rental case even, of Disney's Party. Can't go wrong with that. So yeah, I didn't have to drive but like 5 minutes away to pick this up. The Handy Plug, which is for your Game Gear or Game Boy, from everybody's favorite company. There you go. A nice 3DS, 2DS carrying case with a Pokeball on it and some residue. Always great to get mystery residue when you buy something off Marketplace. If you watch the other videos, you know that this is the real reason I picked this stuff up here. Oh, actually, I'm starting to... Oh, man. I'm starting to second guess myself. This should have metal on it, shouldn't it? Oh, dang. Well, there you go. Let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, I might have got skunked on that. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't work. We'll find out. But there you go. That's I think I got 35 out of the last one. Well, that one doesn't have any metal on it? That has to be wrong. Yeah, uh-oh. Well, there you go. This is off to a potentially bad start. A bunch of USB cables for a PS3 controller. You know, maybe that could be helpful. Looks like a bunch of HDMI stuff in here. Yeah, more HDMI, blah, blah, blah. Well, now I'm wondering if these will work, because I thought, well, you know, it's always handy to have the original first-party NES adapters. My buddy gets them from XYAB, and so... you know, we pick these kind of things up, and, but, yeah, I don't know, for, you know, usually those are worth maybe $10 a piece, and so I thought, oh, that's at least a good buy, but, I don't know, looking at those PS2 things, I'm kind of suspect all of a sudden. A couple little documents for the DS. Yeah, there you go, more US, or HDMI, which actually I was getting low on spare HDMI, so, that's something, I guess. There we go, Pokeball DS stylus. I don't know what I'd do with that. Maybe get a buck out of it. No power cord, but we got the AV cord. Doesn't look like we have the cable or the cover for the memory card here. But it looks pretty clean. Not a bunch of rust in it or anything. So hopefully that works. You know, again, we can get the third-party power supplies. That's no big deal. Again, shout out XYAB for having all that stuff pretty cheap. Okay, well that may work. So again, for 43 bucks, like as long as this works, I think we're pretty good. It would be nice to have all that other stuff. Like I said, you know, at $10 a brick or something, that would definitely help out. But yeah, I think I'm starting to second guess myself here on those PS2 dongles. But you know, it wouldn't surprise me. People on Marketplace are crap holes, and my guess is this probably also won't work the first time. It's probably going to need to be cleaned out, as they always are. Or he just got lazy and didn't have a cover for that, and I don't know. But, so, seeming a little sketchy. I got to keep fishing these things out of that big bin, so we empty that out. 1541 by 2 disk drives. This is when Commodore went to the, you know, new updated design language there. So nothing too exciting there. But just keep reaching in and gotta get a handful out at each time. The Commodore's Buyer Guide Volume 5, which was $2. So you gotta love that. So I was leafing through this, you know, before we file it away. And, you know, just thought it was kind of had some interesting stuff in here. One that I'm still on the lookout. I do not have the Commodore 128D. I'd still like to find that somewhere. So I thought that was pretty cool. The Commodore mouse, if you're not familiar with, be on the lookout out there if you ever see old electronics in a bin, that kind of thing. Those can be pretty expensive. And not that they're that expensive, but people do like the fast load cartridges, if you ever see those sitting around cheap somewhere. And what I thought was pretty cool is these old program modules and you know, turbo CPUs and all this kind of stuff that you could connect to your Commodore 64 4.09 megahertz accelerator. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine 4 megahertz of speed? Just absolutely crazy. But what most people probably want to talk about is Recreation, and so it had some really cool games in here, I thought. Again, if you're watching the January 23rd auction over at Heritage, maybe you're thinking about picking up some stuff like The Last Ninja. Shout out to his channel. It's a shame that one went offline. He always did really cool stuff. Go back and watch Last Ninja stuff if you haven't checked any of that stuff out before. Card Sharks, Fourth and Inches, Bubble Ghost, just some great old titles, great old cover art. Rocket Ranger, fantastic cover art. Again, the Three Stooges game that was just everywhere that nobody liked. Platoon, I think I own, oddly enough. And a lot of these eventually got NES releases like Ikari, Warriors, and Karnov. So you may remember him for other things. This was back when EA had those really cool album-style releases, and so very cool to see, Wasteland, Skate or Die, again, another one that got an NES release. So California Games, geez, that got released on everything all the time. Contra, there'd be one to have, right? The big box of the vintage Contra. I don't have that. I, oddly enough, have Contra on a Konami handheld. What does that do with anything? I do have the Hulkster on the Micro League Wrestling, fishing around somewhere. John Elway's quarterback, decent, cool gimmick in the arcade. Terrible port to the NES, in my opinion. I always hated that game. And again, Spectrum Holobyte there with the vintage Tetris. So we'll stop staring at that, but I always love to find stuff like that, go back through all the old games, imagine what it was like drooling over, those kind of things when you were a kid, thinking, there's no way I'll ever be able to afford these games. And now, of course, all of us have many or most of them, and all we can think about is other stuff that we don't know. So, speaking of which, I'll do a little mid-month check-in on the sales, what's been selling in January. It's been fairly robust here, as you can tell. Very happy to finally get rid of the Atari Jaguar, and of course the Cybermorph that went with it, and the Checkered Flag Racing or something like that. So all of that went out. As you can see, the clerks are always very careful to spell everything correctly, noting that was the rare variant, just Mance. So there you go. Pokemon stuff for $40, nothing too surprising there. Always great to get rid of more Minecrafts. I have so many freaking Minecrafts. And somebody with exquisite taste buying the Shoot 'em Up Phalanx on the Super Nintendo, so shout out to that person. I think that Pokemon Sapphire I put in there lasted all of a couple of days. And so, you can see this was the total as of the 9th. Sold all those wood trays that I put up there. Hey, look at that. Sold an Xbox One for $100. We'll take that. There's always more of those in the basement that can go out. Second copy of Mario Kart on the Wii, so that must be popular. Always is around this time of year. And then just, again, the extraordinarily labeled games. Who knows what we got rid of there. But again, Sims always do well, so again, many more of those in back stock, so happy to sell stuff like that. That's what's been going on here through January, YouTube. Let's see if we got scammed. We'll let you know in the next video. Did this test out? Am I right about those PS2 things being shady? This is the Slob. Watch yourself out there. Don't pick up an STD.